Hello everyone, this is Ashish, and today we are going to continue our session on advanced function in PowerShell. So far we have discussed all the uh, you know the all the options, all the flexibilities, and all the attributes, parameters and attributes provided with PowerShell. What exactly the logic behind having advanced function, uh, in addition to having the concept of function. So now today's session, it's going to be more of a practical demonstration of a basic use case of advanced function. How actually you can use all those very basic things provided with advanced function. And the whole my whole idea is to to get along with the uses of the snippet you have, so that you can start using the very common things from it, and then progressively you would be able to use the combination of parameter attributes and so many other things which is associated with advanced function. So yeah, this is what advanced function looks like. So let's start the demonstration. Here what I will do, let's open the PowerShell console. And okay, so this is my console, and here what we will be doing today is we will first go to our snippet, Control J, and functions. Okay, so let's go to the complete functions. Okay, so we will be using a little bit of few of the very common things from here, from this snippet, and we will try to create a advanced function which you can relate it with your day-to-day activity. You can the logic in the function, or the working of that function, would be very basic. It won't have any complex logic in it. The whole idea is to start using these things, these parameter set name and all those things. So one of the very one of the thing I will be covering is parameter set, right? And other things, default things like mandatory parameter attribute mandatory and things like that, we will be covering it. And what we will do, we will start running the function, advanced function, and then we will see what exactly the difference you have in advanced function. Okay, so before running the advanced function, let me just go back to our basic function. Let me open that script. I already have that script for basic function. Okay, my func, right? This is my func file, right? It is a very basic function. You have a function, you have a name. It is not it is not using the naming convention as per the the advanced function or commandlet, but it will do the job, right? It has parameter a and b. It will add these two parameters, and then it will give the answer, the sum, right? So this is what the basic function is. My advanced function will be different logic, will have different logic, but more or less, let's try to run this particular function. Okay, I will be running it from the IAC. You can run it from console as well. We will do that from there as well, using the dot sourcing dot sourcing method, as we have discussed in the very first session of function. So if you are aware of dot sourcing, if you are not aware of dot sourcing method, then please go ahead and watch that particular part, or we will use that option in our in the end of this video to to launch my advanced function as well. So let's start let's use it from here. The easiest way to open the file, run it. Okay, so now in my shell memory, I should have a function with my func. So let's write my func, right? And if I say I have two parameters only, a and b, which I have defined, right? A could be 3 and b could be something 5. So it should give me the some things like that. So just this is what my function will do. It If you go through it, right, if you go through A, you are not getting any other thing. Just like if you go ahead and see any inbuilt command like get process, so get process gives you, and if you go ahead and you will see there are a lot of things here, there are a lot of things over here. Yeah, so these are the common parameters. We will be discussing these common parameters as well, well in details. But for the time being, you can say that these common parameters like debug, error action, error warning, these are the common parameter which you get from the PowerShell itself. So if you want these things to be available to the user with your function, means my func or something, something you have created, the logic you have scripted, then that can be possible using advanced function. That's what the logic is. So I keep on stressing why we need advanced function, because function do the work. Yeah, I mean, if you have a simple logic, if there is no need to give much flexibility, or you won't be, someone will not be interested into having the look and feel of having a PowerShell commandlet, then your normal function will do the work as well, right? But advanced function gives you more, it gives your function to more close to the PowerShell, PowerShell, the API, or you would say PowerShell practices actually. So let's go back and let's start the advanced function. Okay, so I'm creating a new file. Okay, and now let's instead of writing it everything, what I will do, I will copy the things from snippet. So you can do this for yourself as well. So first of all, I am copying it, the comment part. Okay, so as I have said, we have discussed this part as well in the previous session, that these all things will be required by the help window. So if you provide the information over here, more user friendly, or you can utilize this thing to explain your things you want to have it in help. So what do I mean by help? Let's get process. Okay, or get process or printer. Let's do printer. Okay, instead of that, let's do help, then get printer. Okay, and then I say show window. Yeah, so this will give me a help window. Okay, so this is help window. As you can see, synopsis has something, description has something. In parameters, you have details of parameter, what type of parameter they are, right? Computer name is a string and things like that. So in the similar way, if you want to have this particular thing available, then these all things you will be declaring over here. So let's do a few basic things over here, right? Synopsis, description. Yeah, I mean, one of the example maybe, right? I mean, one of the example you can mention over here. So let's do this. Okay, my function will be, it is a very simple function. Set the service or update the service with provided parameter. Oops, stopped or just give me a moment. Okay, this light went off, power. Okay, so yeah, let's do first stopped or restart. Okay, so what it will do is it will accept two parameters, and it will either stop or restart them depending upon the parameter you have provided. So you can do the same thing in description, or you may you may provide a long description if you want. Okay, so I have this thing only. Example is like, whatever the thing you can say, I will say get, or let's update this thing after running one of the example. I will just copy and paste it over here, and no input output. I don't want to include all these things, but I will leave it there. Okay, you can write, I mean, this is what the documentation would be like. So I have, let's save it. So what I will do, I will say ad func demo. Okay, demo. Okay, so ad func demo. After that, let's go to the, okay, now what I will do, I will copy everything from here and I will remove few things from there as well. Control C, and let's do one thing, let's paste it over here. Yeah, I'm just copying and pasting instead of just having it in snippet over here, so that you can relate it with what are the things you will be removing probably, right? I will remove everything from here. I mean, probably you would not, but to make it very basic thing, I would remove. So if you want to know the detail of all these things, you can go ahead and watch the previous video, what all these things do for you. But in a very basic scenario, like like I am demonstrating right now, you would not need all these things. So what I will do, I will remove it. Okay, I don't have any alias, I don't have any output type, so I will remove it. Okay, just param keyword. Inside param keyword I have parameter 1. So instead of param 1, I have a parameter name is service name. So this parameter would be something, the service name which I want to update actually. So I will remove all these things. Okay, remove it. Okay, just the service name. Okay, and the parameter set name, for this particular parameter I don't have the parameter set, so I will remove it as well. Okay, so position is 0, so I will leave it there. So the position is first. Okay, value from remaining argument, let's remove this one, we don't need it. Value from pipeline, property name, leave it there, we won't need it, but leave it there, because in most of the advanced function you might need these two things. Value from pipeline, mandatory true, yes, you have to tell me either service name, right? What service you want to interact with. Okay, so the other thing is, okay, so other thing is I have a parameter set. So what I will do, I will give the parameter set name as stop. Okay, I just stop set, you might say something, I mean, it's just the set name. So this one will be whatever the parameter I will be providing, with the same parameter set name, either the user will have those set of parameters available, right? So I will say stop set. Okay, and then I will say just give me a minute, right? So let's do one thing, and stop set. Okay, now let's remove all of these things, I don't need all these things. Okay, so parameter name is, instead of parameter 2, I would say stop. and instead of having it as a string or something, I explicitly say that this would be a switch. So switch means, I mean, you just have to select it, just like verb rows we have selected. We will see how to select this parameter. Okay, switch. Okay, stop. And in the similar way, we have another parameter. Let's see. Let's remove this one. Say parameter. So it will be, instead of stop, it will be restart. Okay, and instead of stop set, I will have this restart set. Okay, so we have two parameter set, suppose stop set and restart set. So either one will be available. So if you are using this one would not be available because this is part of another parameter set. And if you will select this, if you will select the parameter restart, then you won't be able to select the other one. That is what we have said that parameter set means. I mean, you have set of parameters which will be available where, collectively. So if I will say another parameter, then it will be available with this stop set. If I will say another parameter, it will be available with restart set. So this is what it is, right? If I do, I mean, the whole purpose is I don't want the user to be able to select both stop and restart. I mean, it doesn't make sense actually. If you want to stop a service, you would not need to restart at the same time, or vice versa, right? So this is what it is. However, my service name has no parameter set, so it will be available. I mean, user have to and it is mandatory, so user have to select this one, and it will not conflict with any parameter set, right? So this is what, as far as parameter section is concerned. So we have declared our parameters with few very useful parameter attributes like mandatory, value from pipeline, position, and then using switches, and then using parameter set name. Okay, now let's move it to the actual part, that begin. So begin, as I said, you can write things like you would like to initiate before doing the actual work, right? So what I will do, I will use the verb rows, right? Verb rows. Okay, so write verb rows, and I will say updating service name. Okay, and it will say dash. So it will just go ahead and updating service name. It will print it over there if you will select the verb row switch, which will be available as a part of this function, which was not available for your myfunc, if you remember. If I would say myfunc, it should be available right now, right? I don't have any option to select verb rows, but if I will say any inbuilt command like get process or get service or get anything, get ACL, maybe get ACL, and if I will say verb rows, I have available. So however, I have not declared, so if you can see that it should be available here as well. However, I have not declared it anywhere in the parameter. So that's what the the power comes with the advanced function. You have the inbuilt functionalities, inbuilt things over to you. So what I am saying, write verb rows. So if the user has enabled verb rows, then print on the screen updating this. If user will just call this function without mentioning verb rows, then it won't, this will be not visible. So this is what it means. Now after that, in process, instead of this one, let's because it won't be very we are just going through a very basic thing. So what we will do, we are I mean, here actual work will do. So what we are trying to do is, we have a service name, right? We have a service name. We want to either stop or restart depending upon the parameter user has provided. So what we will do, we will have to check if it is stop, okay, then go inside it, okay, and do whatever you want to do. And then else if the user has selected restart, yeah, parameter, then do whatever you want to do with restart. Okay, so this is what we want to do. We will do stop or we will do restart depending upon the user input. And then in the end, as I have said, in the beginning you will do the initiation, or you will do the things you do before actually working with your commands or actual work. In the similar way, in the end you will do the cleanup work actually. So for cleanup work as well, we do not have so many things here. So what I simply do is write, let's copy it. Okay, I will write verb rows, and instead of updating, done updating service name, and then instead of that multiple dots, let's give it one dot, right? So it will, what it should do is it should go into this, if we have selected stop, then it should go into this block. If we have selected restart, then it will go into this block. Now if we have selected stop, then what it should do, it should stop the service. So let's stop the service. Set service. We are working with service name. Okay, name is the service name, whatever the user has provided. And then status, we are updating the status as stopped. We will be stopping it, right? In the similar way, if the user will say restart, then we will do the same thing, just few things will change. And what it will change, it will, instead of stop, it will do running. So whether if it is stopped, then okay. So this is what it will do. It will make it running if it is stopped. If it is running, then it won't make any change. So this is what our function will do. So just naming convention, the very first thing we should have done. So let's make it something more in line with the practices, like verb first. So what we are doing, we are updating this service, so update. And then what we are updating, we are updating Windows service, so when service. Okay, so this is the function name we have. Okay, and let's save it. Yeah, so let's do the cleanup thing, and instead of this shell, let's open a new shell. Okay, okay, integer, no. Okay, so let's open the new shell as administrator, so that it should not have any issue while checking things with service. So make sure whenever you run PowerShell, and if you are interacting with the administrative privilege things, then you should run it. And then okay, so let's open the file, add func demo. Okay, open it. Okay, so this is what our file is, right? So we can either open the the function in the ISE and then run it once, so that it will have in our cache ISE shell memory. But this is not the way you should be opening any advanced function PowerShell file. Instead of that, we will be using dot sourcing. So we have discussed that thing in the previous sessions, so we will be doing the same here. Run as administrator. Okay, this is shell. Okay, so what I will do, let's change the location. C. Okay, so dot sourcing, let's clear it out. Okay, so first go to the folder where you have the file. Okay, then have a dot. Okay, then make a space and then another dot and then backward slash, and then you should be providing the file name which has the advanced function. That is what the dot sourcing is. Once you do that, that function would be available in your PowerShell just like any other commandlet in the PowerShell. So let's run this. Add func demo. Yeah? So let's use the tab add func demo, and if I run it, I have this. Okay, now let's try to see if I have a function named, this one, update win service. So let's do this, update dash win, and then use the tab. Right, you have win service. If I will say this, and if I will go ahead and parameter, then I have a service name parameter, stop, restart, and verbose, debug, error action, error warning, yeah, these all things. So instead of, as you can see, we have all these things available which were not available with the myfunc. Let's do the same thing with myfunc as well. myfunc tab, myfunc file. So if I will run it, and let's do myfunc tab, myfunc. Okay, now this ab, right? See, you don't have all other parameters, all other common parameters available with PowerShell. So that is the one difference. Okay, now let's go to the another one. Let's go to my update. Update win service. Right, now we want to give this service name. Let's say ALG, application layer gateway. That's the service name. It has no dependency. It will not make any significant change to my computer. So let's make a change over here, and let's check the status of this service. If I will go ahead, and you will see it is not running right now. So instead of stopping it, I will run it. Status stop, yeah, either stop or restart. So I will say stop. Right, if I will say restart, then I will restart. I don't have the option to stop it. Right, so this is what the parameter set means. Either you can stop it or either you can restart it. You can't have both. Right, if I will restart, and then if I will say, boss, I want to stop as well, no, you don't have that option. Right, or if I will say stop, and then if I will say restart, it might give me the restart option, but it will not run. Let's try this. It will give me error. Right, so if I will do this, stop, since it is not running, so I will say restart. Okay, so it will run. Okay, and if I will go to my service status and refresh it, it should be running. Right, now let's try to stop it. Instead of running, I say stop it. Then if I will say enter, then it will stop it. You see, stopped. Now apart from it, what option you have? Right, so right now it is stopped, so let's try to restart it again. Okay, and with the verbose. Okay, one of the common parameter. So verbose will give the verbose output which has been provided by the developer of that script. So if I will run the verbose, remember I have provided few verbose right host. So if I will run it, right, verb rows, updating ALG, done updating ALG, right? If I would have included something in between where I am actually updating the service, then it would have been also printed. So this is how the verbose comes into the picture. Verbose is generally used to debug. Okay, so if you are using any command, any PowerShell script, or any module provided by someone else, then if it is not working due to some reason, for some parameter or something, then it is better to run it with verb rows, so that you will get few information provided by the developer itself, and then if it might help you to see what exactly this service does. Okay, so I mean this particular script does. So this is advanced function basic. If you go through it, it is very basic example, I mean involving very few things from the parameter advanced PowerShell advanced function. And just like that, just like that, let's do one more thing with the help thing, because help is also provided. So let's run it in the ISE. Okay, I have run it. Now I should have this function update, and let's update when service, when service, and then let's do one thing, help, just like I do with any other command, PowerShell commandlet. I have and then show window. So if I will do this, I will have the so synopsis, whatever the thing I have written in synopsis, whatever the thing I have description, it is giving the parameter. Service name would be an object. I could have said that a string, stop, it is a switch parameter, right? And then it is a parameter position is named, so I have said that what is the parameter position, right? So I mean this is so updates when service, it automatically gives you this syntax. Now as I have not provided these things, as I have not provided the example over here, right? I have not provided example. So this is not giving any example over here. If I would have written something here, it would have given the output here, right? So this is what I mean. If I would say, if I would copy it from here, example 1. Okay, so this is what it means, right? You can paste it over here, not here actually, but here, example 1, Control V. So this will be an example, right? So this is how you can use these things, right? So this is I will be providing this text over the in the PowerPoint presentation, but that is all I have for advanced function, I would say, demonstration. Please comment if you have any other there are so many other things which we have skipped, because it is quite I mean the things which you get with PowerShell advanced function, you can use these things depending upon your need actually, right? This gives you flexibility if your need is there. But these are the things which we have included in our demonstration, are the very basic thing which you would mostly need to start with actually. Once you have started, then the requirements keeps on coming, and then you would be updating with the more advanced things over there. So that is it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.